300 men lay side by side, holding hands in the snow. Flakes kept falling, covering their bodies. They were shaking so hard from the cold, their teeth chattering nonstop. A man in the crowd suddenly shouted, "For a rich wife, I'm all in." Everyone knew that only the ones who made it through winter would have a shot at marrying one of the Sioux family's 2 daughters. The blizzard finally passed. More than 200 ice sculptures were left on the ground. And the 18 men still standing didn't dare relax for a second. Knew there was still one last round before they could enter the Sioux residence. My father numbered the 18 men one by one and had me and my half-sister draw lots to choose our husbands. The men stared nervously at the lot box. Just as I was hesitating, line after line of floating comments suddenly flashed before my eyes. Number 7. Number 7 is Xiao. Not that butcher, Maybao. Number 7 is Xiao. Hurry up and pick him. What, are you waiting to draw the butcher? That butcher looks sloppy and gross. He doesn't even look clean. Xiao is gentle and handsome. He's liked Maybao since childhood. If Maybao marries him, he'll spoil her for life. I believed those comments and chose my childhood friend, Xiao, as my husband. But on our wedding day, Xiao grabbed me by the throat, his eyes full of hatred. If you hadn't secretly switched the order of the lots, how could Liu have ended up marrying someone else? And the butcher my half-sister drew turned out to be the crown prince, traveling incognito. Framed me for adultery and said I was carrying another man's child. Then he kicked my stomach over and over again. I risked my life to run home for help, only to be blocked on the street by my half. Big sister, why keep some child with a shady background? Even my father, who had always doted on me, covered his face and walked away, refusing to acknowledge me as his daughter. In the end, I died out on the street. Only after death did I learn that all those misleading comments had come from my half-sister. Bold red comments kept floating in the air. Half-sister stood behind me, staring hard at the hand I was about to use to draw, her eyes flickering. I only curled my lips into a smile. If she loved marrying a butcher that much, then in this alley, hand, which had been resting on lot number 7, lifted slightly. I saw Suyuliu's breathing catch. She forced a smile and urged me, "Big sister, why haven't you picked yet? I have a feeling you're definitely going to draw the man you love and marry someone truly good." "Really?" I tugged at the corner of my mouth and moved my hand slowly over to lot number 11. In my last life, this lot belonged to the butcher the crown prince was pretending to be. Suyuliu's face visibly tightened on the spot. I let out a soft laugh. "Little sister, why do you look even more nervous than I am? Don't tell me there's something wrong with these 2 lots?" Forced a smile. Father arranged all the lots himself. How could there be a problem? This whole city is here for the husband selection today. I heard even butchers and gamblers borrowed money to Jay. That's why I'm a little nervous. Then, which do you think is better, number 7 or number 11? Her eyes flashed, and a bit of delight rose in them. She hurriedly said, "Since you were born in July," nodded like I understood, and the floating comments started rolling again. "Wow, turns out 7 is Maybao's lucky number 2. Pick it already, Maybao. If you miss Xiao, you'll regret it." Men and tea. Xiao swore before the Bodhisattva that he'd marry only Maybao. Exactly. If she doesn't pick Xiao, what is she waiting to draw the butcher? Look, Xiao is staring at Maybao. Would have thought the one he truly loved was my half-sister. Too bad Suyuliu was born concubine-born and couldn't be his legal wife. That was why he never asked my father for her hand and waited. Below the stage, he stood there in a cloud-patterned brocade robe, tall and elegant, staring this way without blinking. If I didn't have memories from my last life, I really would have believed he wait. Looking carefully now, the one he was watching was clearly my half-sister, Suyuliu. I sneered inwardly, my hand gliding back and forth between the 2 lots, deliberately refusing to choose. Suyuliu was so anxious beside me that cold sweat was dripping down her face. "Big sister, 1 cut if you stick your head out, 1 cut if you don't. If you still won't choose, we're going to miss the..." She's still not picking. Wasn't it supposed to be open to all eligible men in the city? Don't tell me the rich merchant's daughter is getting cold feet now. All timid and hesitant like this. Where's... "Big sister, hurry up and choose!" Suyuliu tugged at my sleeve. I smiled and pressed her hand down. "In such a hurry, little sister. Why don't you go first?" I took her hand, turned back, and bowed to... "Father, little sister seems eager to marry. Why not let her choose first? Besides, I'm the eldest daughter. How could I let my younger sister pick from what I leave behind?" Suyuliu's eyes lit up. If she picked first, she could draw the crown prince's lot. Watching the secret smile on her face, I smiled too. She thought she was about to rise to the top. But what she didn't know was that the crown prince never came today at all. Father nodded. "In that case, let Liu draw first." The moment Father said that, the light in Xiao's eyes brightened instantly. He lifted his head and stared hard at Suyuliu. My last life, he had secretly told her in advance that his own lot was number 7, hoping they could become husband and wife. He must have been thrilled out of his mind right then. As long as Suyuliu picked lot number 7, all those years of waiting would finally pay off. Too bad he was destined to be disappointed. Yu Yu bit her lip, her eyes moving between 7 and 11, then decisively picked lot number 11. Xie looked like he'd been struck by lightning. His whole body shook, stared at Su Yuliu in disbelief. As if he was afraid he had seen it wrong, he turned his head, rubbed his eyes, and looked at my half-sister again. But the scene in front of him hadn't changed. Yuliu held up number 11 and smiled, completely confident. Have you made your choice? Su Yuliu nodded, but Zishuan took a deep breath, let out a roar, and rushed up onto the stage. Wait, how can a marriage be decided this casually? Second miss, why don't you think it over a little longer? Desperately kept signaling Su Yuliu with his eyes, but she acted like she didn't see a thing. Holding the lot in her hand, she smiled with full confidence. No need to make it that complicated. Fine, I've made up my mind, I want number 11. Stepped past Zishuan and handed the lot straight to the host. Now we'll reveal the second miss's match. Host took the lot marked 11 and checked it against the list. The husband chosen for the second miss is the butcher Chen-san. Crowd exploded. What? Out of more than 400 lots, she got the butcher? The second miss really has terrible luck. Chen-san really hit the jackpot. He spent 10 taels to enter the drawing, and now he's the son-in-law of the richest family. He struck gold. Second Zishuan heard the result. He couldn't sit still anymore. He grabbed Su Yuliu's hand. Second miss, if you don't want this, I can take you away. A wave of boos immediately rose from below. What is young Master Zai doing? Is he really trying to steal the bride in public? But Su Yuliu coldly shook off his hand. Young Master Z, what nonsense are you talking about? This husband drawing was left to fate. How could I go back on it? Shuan was speechless, stunned. You're really going to marry a butcher? Liuer, are you sure? Father stepped up to us and said softly, this butcher Chen-san is poor and has no ambition. He's really not a good match. If you don't want this, then at worst your father will return the drawing money tenfold. I doubt he'll make a scene. Su Yuliu smiled confidently. So what if he's poor? The Su family keeps its word. If I turn my back on this just because I look down on the poor and chase wealth, wouldn't that shame father? A woman follows the man she marries. Faint blush rose on her face. Even if he's a butcher, I believe my husband and I can still build a good life. Well said. Crowd burst into cheers. I didn't expect second Miss Su to be such a loyal, good-hearted woman. Shuan's face turned pale. He opened his mouth but couldn't get a single word out. Took a deep breath and forced a smile at Su Yuliu. No matter how obsessed he was with her, he knew he'd been abandoned. Gave Su Yuliu one long look, then walked away in a daze. Su Yuliu looked pleased with herself and shot me a provocative look. Big sister, your turn. Still thought, just like in my past life, that she'd drawn the crown prince, and no matter who I married, I'd never outshine her. Curled my lips in a mocking smile, glanced at the drawing tube on the stage, then turned around. Father, I'm not drawing. Second I said that, the whole crowd broke into an uproar. What? We all paid money to be part of this husband drawing. Now the eldest Miss Su can just say she's not doing it. Isn't that cheating us? Lowered my sleeves, gave a graceful bow and said softly, before this I didn't know who I should marry, so father arranged this husband drawing for my sister and me. But now, I already have someone in mind, and I believe everyone here will accept my choice. One sneered. Oh, really? You think the man you picked will convince all of us? Then say it already. Yeah, who is it? That could possibly deserve that much respect? Looked around the crowd and smiled lightly. Calm and composed, I raised my hand and pointed at Xiao Jingnan on the viewing stand. The man I want to marry is the General Xiao who fought the northern invaders to the bitter end and protected this city with his life. The moment I said that, the whole place fell dead silent. Back then, when the northern raiders crossed the river and invaded Great Shu, Qingzhou City took the first hit. It was General Xiao Jingnan who led the troops in a bloody 10-day battle and drove them back, saving Qingzhou. But in that battle, he himself was shot through the waist by an enemy spear. Injury damaged him badly and left him unable to father children. Was why, even though Xiao Jingnan was nearly 30, he still had no wife. Whenever people in Qingzhou brought up General Xiao, their words were always full of respect and regret. Someone said quietly, General Xiao really is better than all of us. If he could finally get married, that would be a huge happy event for all of Qingzhou. Yeah, the eldest Miss Su actually makes a lot of sense. Xiao Jingnan on the viewing stand finally spoke. His dark eyes were locked on me. Little girl, don't you know I have a condition? I'd advise you to pick someone else. I didn't back down at all. I looked straight into his eyes. Only now, looking carefully, did I realize this man was actually handsome. Sharp brows, bright eyes, tall and broad-shouldered. Compared to Zishuan, that weak little scholar, he had so much more real masculine presence. When I thought about how I died on the street in my past life, how even my own father wouldn't collect my body, but he paid for my coffin and prayed for my soul, that was the moment I made up my mind. If I had another life, I would repay that kindness. Smiled softly and said firmly, my heart already belongs to you, General. In this life, I will marry no one else. To my surprise, the crowd actually started clapping. Say yes, General. You're not getting any younger. It's time you got married. Then the live comments started flashing wildly in front of my eyes. I thought the female lead dumped Zishuan to choose someone amazing. Turns out, she picked a man who can't have heirs. Doesn't she know about Xiao Jingnan's condition? If she marries him, she won't even get a normal married life. So stupid, she's gonna suffer later. Ha ha ha. Comments mocked me without restraint. And from the corner of my eye, I saw Su Yulyu with a faint smile, completely lost in her own little fantasy. These comments really were her doing. I pretended not to notice those toxic, harmful comments. Jingnan's gaze flickered, and when he spoke, his throat sounded dry. If you marry me, you really won't regret it? Shook my head gently. General, you are the one I love. Even if I died for it, I would never regret it. Good! Xiao Jingnan shot to his feet. Then Miss Su, wait for the bridal sedan and a wedding procession fit for 10 miles of red silk. Just then, the Crown Prince helped the Emperor onto the stage. I've really enjoyed quite a show today, was clear approval in his voice. I never expected the two daughters of the Su family, raised in wealth and luxury, to care so little for status and so much for righteousness. Everyone was still stunned when the eunuch beside the Emperor already shouted out, His Majesty and the Crown Prince have arrived. Why are you not kneeling to welcome them? Everyone hurried to kneel. Su Yulyu also showed a confident smile. She still thought the Crown Prince had come to marry her. But the next second, the Emperor said, Master Su, you've raised your daughters well, so I will make an exception and personally arrange marriages for both your daughters. Crown Prince added, Call that butcher, Chen-san, up here to receive the decree and give thanks. Yulyu froze right where she stood. Your Highness, what are you talking about? Isn't that butcher Chen-san the husband I drew? The Crown Prince frowned. There was clear impatience in his eyes, but since she was a woman, and Master Su's daughter at that, he chose not to argue with her. Still, his tone turned colder, with a hint of sarcasm. Su, what kind of nonsense are you talking about? I am the Crown Prince, born of royal blood. Why would I disguise myself as some butcher and show up here? Did this arranged marriage get you so excited that you lost your mind and started talking crazy? The moment he finished speaking, a rough voice answered from outside the crowd. A tall, burly man shoved his way through the crowd and charged forward. He was wearing a faded short jacket, with stains splattered all over the cuffs of his pants. A thick, raw meat smell clung to him, mixed with sweat, and it was enough to make people wrinkle their noses from a distance. It was Chen-san, the butcher. Chen-san reached out with his huge fan-like hand and happily wrapped an arm around Su Yulyu's waist, squeezing so hard it almost felt like he would crush her bones. If your husband is right here, I finally found you. From now on, I'm the son-in-law of the richest family in town. I won't have to get up early and butcher pigs anymore. A nasty stench went straight up her nose, making Su Yulyu's stomach churn. She let out a scream and shoved Chen-san away with all her strength. Staggering back a few steps, she grabbed a pillar and started gagging. Her pretty face had turned pale as paper, her chest rising and falling hard, her eyes filled with horror and disgust. Who are you? How dare you? Stop talking nonsense! Who's your wife? Chen-san got shoved back so hard he stumbled. He scratched his head, and the smile on his face froze for a second. Then he gave that dumb, honest grin again and rubbed his calloused hands as he stepped closer. Miss, I'm Chen-san, the husband you picked. I even kept a ticket receipt, number 11, no mistake. He spoke, he pulled a crumpled yellow slip of paper from his shirt and held it out in front of Su Yulyu. The number 11 was written clearly on it, along with an official stamp. Yulyu stared at that slip like she'd seen a ghost, trembling uncontrollably. Couldn't believe it. The number 11 ticket she had carefully picked was actually Chen-san the butcher, not the Crown Prince traveling undercover.
选的11号签，竟然真的是屠户陈三，而不是那个微服私访的太子。他只觉得天旋地转。
Everything around her spun, and even the stage beneath her feet seemed to sway. The glory of her past life and the humiliation of this moment clashed so hard that she was on the verge of breaking down. Completely lost it and screamed at the top of her lungs, her voice cracking. Oh, that's impossible! That's impossible! Number 11 was supposed to be the Crown Prince. Someone must have tampered with it. It was you, Su Yuji. It had to be you. You used my money, you were jealous that I was going to marry the Crown Prince, so you set me up on purpose and made me draw this butcher. Pointed at me, her eyes full of venom and madness, like she wanted to dump all her resentment and rage onto me. Crowd below instantly erupted. The way they looked at me became complicated, full of doubt, curiosity, and shameless excitement at the drama. Those red on-screen comments started scrolling wildly in front of my eyes again, every single line accusing me and smearing my name. I didn't even have to think. This was obviously Su Yulyu's doing again. I looked at him coldly, a mocking smile curling at the corner of her mouth. Slowly walked up to him, her voice clear and sharp. Clear enough for everyone on and off the stage to hear every word. Sir, you can mess around with food, but not with your words. We drew lots just now. The lot tube was right in the middle of the stage. Father and everyone here saw it with their own eyes. Picked lot number 11 yourself, and no one touched it the whole time. Where exactly did this switch happen? Besides, if I really wanted to set you up, why would I let you pick first? Paused, swept my eyes over her pale face, and kept talking. The host revealed that this lot belonged to Chen Sanshi, who were the one acting all righteous and saying, "Whoever I marry, I'll stick with him." Backing out, I won't shame father. Master Sai urged you again and again to think it through, but you refused. Even said fate had already decided it. But why is it that the moment you saw what Chen Sanshi actually looks like, turned on everyone and blamed me for rigging it? Is my Su family's reputation really that worthless in your eyes? Every word I said landed hard, and in an instant, the crowd's whispers shifted to my side. People all around started nodding in agreement. The way they looked at Su Yulyu was full of mockery and disdain. She thought number 11 was the Crown Prince. That's why she acted all high-minded and pure. When it turned out she'd actually drawn the butcher, she started flipping the story. Seriously, you never really know what kind of person someone is. Looks soft and harmless, but her heart is vicious. Even tried to frame her own sister. Crown Prince is royalty. Why would he ever disguise himself as a butcher just to join a drawing? Second Miss Sue must have really been dreaming of marrying way above her station. Clearly lost her mind. People plan and heaven laughs. This is what greed gets you. During all that, Su Yuliu's face turned red, then white. Wanted nothing more than to disappear into the ground. Cold sweat slid down from her temples and dampened the flower pin by her hair. Eyes darted around in panic. She was desperately looking for someone to save her. Her eyes landed on Zishuan below the stage, like he was her last lifeline. Zishuan, save me. Did you say you take me away? I'm not marrying him. Not marrying this butcher. Take me away now. Voice was shaky with sobs, full of pleading, and all that pride and aloofness were gone. Father stood to the side, his face dark with anger. The way he looked at Su Yuliu was filled with disappointment and fury. Never imagined that this daughter of his could be so ungrateful and foolish. To lose control like this in front of the emperor and the crown prince. To say something this outrageous was a total disgrace to the Su family. Strode forward, grabbed Su Yuliu by the arm and twisted hard, forcing her down onto her knees. Lowering his voice, he gritted his teeth and said, "You wretched girl, apologize to His Majesty and the crown prince right now. Your Highness, please forgive me. Just say you got so hyped about the engagement you lost your mind and said some dumb stuff. Never actually refused to marry third son Chen." But Su Yuliu went absolutely wild. She yanked her arm free from her father's grip. "Did nothing wrong, they lied to me. Something seriously off here. Not marrying that butcher. Want to marry the crown prince. I want to be his princess." Second those words left her mouth, the whole room went dead silent. You could barely even hear anyone breathe. Emperor's face darkened instantly. His expression turned cold, and the tension in the air was suffocating. The crown prince didn't look any better. His eyes were full of disgust and ice-cold contempt. Father was scared out of his mind. He dropped to his knees with a loud thud. "Majesty, forgive us, Your Highness, please forgive us. Daughter is young and foolish." She spoke out of turn. "Please, Your Majesty, Your Highness, let it go just this once. Discipline her properly when we get home. She will never pull something like this again." Emperor let out a cold scoff, his gaze sweeping over the kneeling father and the hysterical Su Yuliu. "Yuanwan, this is the daughter you raised? No respect for her superiors, delusional, and she has the nerve to spew nonsense in front of us and slander the crown prince. Her character is absolutely disgusting." Crown Prince spoke up too, his tone dripping with sarcasm. Thought she was some kind of virtuous, principled woman. Turns out she's just another social climber chasing clout. Did she really think I'd dress up as a butcher and show up to some random matchmaking lottery? That's pathetic. Second, Miss Sue, take a good look in the mirror. You're a merchant's daughter. What made you think you had any business going after the crown prince? Su Yuliu was completely wrecked by the crown prince's words. She collapsed onto the ground, her eyes blank. All the fire she once had, completely gone. Wei, how did it come to this? Highness, I genuinely wanted to marry you. Chen-san had been standing off to the side watching all this go down. The smile faded from his face. He furrowed his brow and said gruffly, "What's going on with you? You're the one who agreed to this lottery. You're the one who drew ticket number 11, and now that the Emperor himself has declared the match, you're backing out. I'm a butcher. But I work hard, I make good money, and I'll make sure you eat well and live well. I'm not gonna let you suffer." He reached out to take her hand, but Su Yuliu shoved him away hard. "Back off! I don't need your money. You're a rough, low-life butcher, and stay away from me. I don't care how bad things get, I will never marry you." Chen-san's expression turned dark. He was a straight-shooter kind of guy, and after being shoved and insulted over and over, his patience finally snapped. "What is your problem? The Emperor already made the call. You're marrying me whether you like it or not. You really want to defy the Emperor's order? That'll get your whole family wiped out." Those words hit hard. Her father started shaking head to toe. Dropped to his knees. "Your Majesty, please spare us. My daughter would never dare defy you. She's willing to marry young Master Chen. Not a single complaint." Emperor watched this whole mess play out, and you could see the disgust on his face. He waved his hand. "Enough. Out of respect for Sue's father, who's always kept his head down and stayed out of trouble, I'll let this ignorant girl off the hook. The imperial decree has already been issued. There's no taking it back. Second, Miss Sue, pick a date and marry that butcher, Chen-san. And if you dare defy my order again, don't blame me for being heartless." The Emperor didn't even glance at Su Yuliu again. He stood up and turned to Xiao Jinan. "First, Miss Sue, poised, sharp, and gutsy. She's a perfect match for you. I'm making the call today. You two are getting married. 3 days from now. I'll have the royal astrologer pick an auspicious date, and have the Ministry of Rites send some gifts. Consider it my blessing on this union." Jinan dropped to one knee and clasped his hands. "This humble subject is grateful for your Majesty's grace." The Emperor glanced over at me. He gave a nod. "First, Miss Sue, you're a sensible one. Serve General Xiao well, don't let me down." Bowed my head and knelt. "This subject is deeply grateful for your Majesty's kindness. I'll carry it in my heart always." The Crown Prince turned to Xiao Jinan with a smile. "General Xiao, congrats on finding yourself a keeper. First Miss Sue's got great taste. Everyone in Qingzhou knows you're the greatest hero this dynasty's got. She's lucky to be marrying you." Xiao Jinan stood up with a calm smile. "Your Highness flatters me." Then, surrounded by guards, the Emperor and the Crown Prince turned and walked away. before leaving, the crown prince shot Su Yuliu one last cold look. Disgust in that gaze sent chills straight through Su Yuliu. Watching his figure disappear, Su Yuliu's eyes filled with despair and bitterness. Collapsed to the ground, tears pouring down her face. She kept sobbing over and over. Why? Why is this happening? I was supposed to be the crown princess. Su Yueji. It's all your fault. You did this to me. I will never forgive you. I watched her, stone cold, not a drop of sympathy. Brought every bit of this on herself. Her past life, she tricked me with fake comments into choosing Xuan, and I died, humiliated in the streets. Life? It's just karma catching up. She had it coming. Father pulled himself up off the ground, eyeing Su Yuliu with ice-cold contempt. He snapped, "Get up right now. You're an embarrassment. We're going home." A group of servants grabbed Su Yuliu and dragged her off the stage. Yuliu screamed and struggled the whole way, but it was no use. She was dragged back to the Su estate. The crowd watched the drama wrap up and slowly started to leave, but they couldn't stop talking about what just went down. Yuliu's name became the joke of all of Qingzhou. Xishuan stood below the stage, watching Su Yuliu get dragged away. Not a single trace of pity on her face, just cold indifference and a barely noticeable sense of satisfaction. He'd been so devoted back then. He threw everything aside, rushed up onto the stage just to take her away, and she shot him down cold. Even humiliated him in public. Now look at her. She brought this on herself. He glanced at me and his expression was hard to read. Confused, searching, with a hint of resentment. Then he let out a cold scoff. Walked away. I watched him go, laughing inside. Xishuan, in my past life, you made me suffer in every way possible. Despised me to the core, but this time around, I won't give you a single chance to hurt me again. And the toxic tie between you and Su Yuliu? It's time that came to an end. Xiao Jingnan walked up to me, his dark eyes fixed on mine with a touch of warmth in them. Asked softly, "Did that scare you just now?" I shook my head and looked up at him. A small smile crept onto my lips. "With you here, General, I'm not scared of anything." Reached out and gently brushed a loose strand of hair from my temple. The warmth from his fingertips came through my hair and made my heart skip. Touch was so gentle, his gaze so focused. It reminded me of the way he tended to my remains and prayed for me in my past life. A wave of warmth washed over me. 3 days from now, I'll come for you with 8 bridal sedan carriers and 10 miles of red wedding gifts. His voice was low and firm. Serious, no room for doubt. I nodded, my cheeks turning a little pink, and quietly said, "Okay, I'll be waiting." When I got back to the Su estate, the whole place felt suffocating. Father had locked Su Yuliu in her own courtyard. Wasn't allowed to go out, no servants assigned to her either. Just told to reflect on what she'd done. Su Yuliu's courtyard, full of her crying and screaming all day long, but Father tuned it all out. He even gave orders for everyone to ignore her. Meanwhile, I became the star of the household. Father dropped the cold act completely and started fawning all over me. Every day, he'd have the kitchen make fancy snacks and meals sent straight to my courtyard. He'd also stop by regularly to check on me. Every word out of his mouth was hinting that once I married Xiao Jingnan, I should put in a good word for the Su family as much as possible, especially for my little brother Su Wengshuan. I saw right through it. Father never genuinely cared about me. The only thing he actually cared about was Xiao Jinnan's power and status. Wanted to use me to get the Su family connected to General Xiao's influence, grow the family business even further, and set his precious son Su Wengshuan up with a bright future. Toward all his attention, I just played it cool. Not warm, not cold. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. My past life taught me the hard way. When it comes to his own interests, Father will sacrifice anything, including his own daughter. I wasn't going to fall for it again. More naively thinking he actually loved me, pouring my heart out to him, only to end up abandoned. In those 3 days, Xiao Jingnan also kept sending people to the Su estate with gifts, rare jewelry, fine silks and fabrics, and loads of premium tonics. The courtyard was packed to the brim. Word spread fast across Qingzhou. General Xiao was marrying the eldest Su daughter, and everyone said it was a match made in heaven. Meanwhile, Su Yuliu getting married off to the butcher Chen San became the town's hottest gossip. Su Yuliu was locked in the courtyard. When she found out how much effort Xiao Jingnan had put in for me, the jealousy and hatred in her heart exploded. She smashed everything in sight, cursing my name, but none of it could change what was already set in stone. 3 days later, it was the day of my wedding to Xiao Jingnan. The side of the Su estate was lit up with lanterns and decorations, buzzing with excitement as they prepared my dowry. The other side was dead quiet, not even a strip of red silk hung up, like Su Yuliu's wedding didn't even exist. Sat in front of the mirror, dressed in a stunning red phoenix crown and bridal robe. My maids drew my brows, painted my eyes, styled my hair into an elaborate updo, and pinned in an exquisite phoenix hairpin. The woman in the mirror had flawless features, red lips, white teeth, the red bridal look making her skin glow like snow. There was a faint smile in her eyes, no more of that timid, small girl from her past life. On the other side, Su Yuliu's courtyard was a complete mess. The servants forcibly dressed her in a red bridal gown, but the fabric was rough, the style plain, nothing like my phoenix crown and robe. She stood there with tear-streaked cheeks, hair disheveled, eyes vacant, like a puppet being moved around by her handlers.
她被下人硬拉着，换上了一身红色的嫁衣，可那嫁衣料子粗糙，款式简单，与我的凤冠霞帔有着天壤之别。她满脸泪痕，头发凌乱，眼神空洞，像个提线木偶一般，任由下人摆布。及时到
The auspicious hour, Xiao Jingnan's wedding procession arrived right on time. 8-man sedan chair, 10 miles of red decor, drums beating, firecrackers popping. The procession stretched all the way from Xiao Manor to the Su estate gates. Red silk blanketing the ground, swana horns blaring, the whole scene absolutely electric. People from all over Qinzhou lined both sides of the street, craning their necks to watch, praising General Xiao for the grand treatment he was giving the eldest Su daughter. Xiao Jingnan was in full red wedding attire, tall, sharp-browed, striking eyes, riding in on a tall horse looking like something out of a painting. He dismounted and walked straight into the Su estate, heading directly to my courtyard. When he saw me in my full phoenix crown and bridal robe, a flash of awe crossed his eyes, then melted into a warm smile. He walked up to me and reached out, taking my hand. "I'm here to take you home." His hand was broad and warm, holding mine tight, and just like that, I felt completely safe. I looked up at him and smiled softly.
我的手让我心中充满了安全感。我抬眸看向他，微微一笑。
Okay. I was helped into the 8-man sedan chair, and to the sound of everyone's well wishes, the procession slowly made its way toward Xiao Manor. Su Yuliu's wedding, on the other hand, that was a whole different story. No wedding procession, no drums, no firecrackers. Just Chen San, alone, leading a black pig wrapped in red cloth to the Su estate gates to pick up his bride. Her father was mortified. The last thing he wanted was for Su Yuliu to leave through the front door. He tried to sneak her out the side entrance, but Chen San wasn't having it. He said he was marrying the Su family's second daughter, and even a butcher deserved to do it right. She was leaving through the front door, period. Her father had no choice but to give in. Su Yuliu was shoved out the front gate by the servants. When she saw Chen San standing there with a black pig, the disgust and despair on her face hit an all-time high. She refused flat out to get on the pig's back, but Chen San didn't even flinch. He just hoisted her over his shoulder, plopped her onto the pig's back, and strolled off without a care in the world. Left behind. People on both sides of the street laughed and pointed, gossiping as the show moved on. Some even shouted after him, "Chen San, take good care of your new bride. You're about to be the richest family's son-in-law." Yuliu sat on top of that pig, drowning in their jeers, tears blurring his vision. He watched my grand sedan chair disappear, eyes filled with pure hatred. Screamed at the direction of my sedan, voice breaking. "Su Yuji, this is all your fault. I'm not letting you off, you wait and see." Inside the sedan, I heard his screams and just smiled faintly. "Su Yuliu, this is only the beginning. The pain you gave me in that past life, in this life, I'll make you taste every bit of it back." San's house was in the slums of Qingzhou City, a dirty, low-rise earthen hut. The yard was piled with bloody pig-slaughtering tools, and the mixed smell of iron and rot turned my stomach. Yuliu stared at that wreck of a home and broke down completely. He sat on the ground, sobbing, screaming he wanted back home to the Su family, begging his father to save him.
看着这破败的家，彻底崩溃了。他坐在地上嚎啕大哭，哭喊着要回苏府，要父亲救他。可陈三根本就不理会他。
But Chen San ignored him entirely. He called over his own mother, an old woman as sharp and nasty as a cornered cat, who looked at Su Yuliu's delicate manners and sneered with disgust. Under her breath, she muttered, "What a spoiled little miss, can't do a thing. Guess we'll end up waiting on her. I should have never let San marry her. Would have been better marrying some country girl who can actually cook and work." Yuliu had grown up spoiled in the Su mansion and had never faced anything like this. He yelled at her to get away and leave him alone. Chen wouldn't have it. Her temper was already at boiling point, and without hesitation she slapped him across the face, splitting his lip and making his cheek swell up. Hands on her hips, she shouted, "You ungrateful brat, daring to raise your voice here? Now you're in the Chen family, you do what I say. You wash, you cook, you listen. If you dare step out of line, just wait till I finish disciplining you."
媳妇就得听我的话，敢不听话，看我怎么教训你！
陈母叉着腰，厉声骂道。
San stood off to the side, watching Su Yuliu get slapped and not lifting a finger to stop it. Coldly, he said, "What my mother says is right. You married me. Now you live by the Chen family rules. You serve me and her. One more outburst, one more tantrum, and I won't hold back." Yuliu looked at the two of them, fear and despair crushing him. He knew in that moment his good life was over. Meanwhile, my wedding at the Xiao mansion was nothing short of a royal affair. Xiao Jingnian was a general, but his house was decorated with elegance. Red cloths everywhere, red lanterns swaying. Everywhere you looked screamed celebration. The ceremony, Xiao Jingnan held my hand tight, looking up to the heavens and down to our elders, solemnly promising to stay by my side till the end of his life. Our wedding night, the red candles burned bright, painting the room in red. Xiao Jingnan, still in his wedding robes, walked slowly toward the bed. He lifted my veil, eyes locked on my face, pure tenderness and awe. His voice was husky. "Babe, you look stunning tonight." I blushed hard under his gaze, called out softly, "Hubby." He chuckled low, wiped the flush from my cheek, blew out the candles, pulled me back onto the bed. His pine scent mixed with whiskey filled my nose, totally intoxicating. Warm hands wrapped my waist so gentle, like handling priceless treasure. Felt something hard press my stomach. I froze, remembering the rumors. He'd lost his manhood in battle. What? Hubby, aren't you? He laughed softly, kissed my forehead. Army doc fixed me ages ago. My Xiao family fights on the front lines. Never know if we'll live to see tomorrow. Didn't want to marry and leave a widow, make her wait alone forever. Better single and free. That's why I kept it secret.
说是娶妻生子，怕是会连累他们，让他们独守空房，倒不如孑然一身来得自在，所以才对外隐瞒了此事。
My eyes stung, heart aching and touched. Wrapped my arms tight around his neck. Then why'd you marry me? He pecked my lips, eyes sparkling with feeling. You little troublemaker. Declared in front of everyone. Screw the gossip. I won't marry anyone but him. So bold, so fearless. Got me hooked. How could I say no? Truth is, I've been crazy about you forever. I blinked up at him, confused. Hubby, you? 14 years old, temple trip up the mountain, sprained your ankle coming down crying by the roadside. That was me who carried you home. His voice softened with memory. You wore that goose yellow dress, crying like a hurt little bunny. Totally melted me.
哭得梨花带雨，像只受伤的小兔子，让我心中一动。从那以后，我便时常关注你。
Been watching you grow up since, from bratty kid to stunning woman, but military duty felt unworthy, kept my feelings buried. Then I remembered, 5 years back, Guangfu Temple. Tripped coming down, sobbing helplessly. Met this guy in green robes, gentlemanly vibe, lent me his horse, escorted me home, left healing salve. Never knew his name. Remembered those sharp features, elegant aura. Never dreamed it was him. Warmth flooded my chest. Stood on tiptoes, kissed him first. He froze, then dove in deeper. Tender, endless. Room glowing soft, candles flickering, perfect moment. Married life, pure bliss. Xiao Jingyan treats me like gold. Gentle, thoughtful, total dream husband. A warrior, but he's so attentive. Knows I love sweet food. The kitchen prepares fancy desserts for me every single day. Also knows I love flowers, so he made a garden on the estate. It's filled with all the flowers and plants I like. He has free time, he'll play chess with me, and read with me, and go for walks. Always gives me whatever I want. And the servants respect me. Wouldn't dare slack off even a little. Live in the Xiao household feeling relaxed and free. I'm finally becoming the person I always wanted to be. So Yuliu's life? Miserable, day after day. Every day, the Chen family makes him do heavy labor. Carrying water, splitting firewood, cooking, washing clothes, he has to do everything. Chen's mother picks on him non-stop. Anything goes even slightly wrong, she hits and yells at him. Chen-san won't stop either, always snapping at him and pushing him around. He doesn't do things exactly right, he gets yelled at. Even tells him to go back to Sue's place to ask for money. Yuliu was spoiled since childhood. Could he handle all this suffering? Before long, he looked worn out, his face pale and dull. Didn't have that lively look anymore. Went back to Sue's place many times. Kneel outside the Sue gate and cry out loud, begging his father to save him. Begging him to help with a divorce. First, his father still felt for him. He gave him some silver and told him to go back and live. The more he came, the more impatient his father became. Especially whenever Su Yuliu showed up. The neighbors would come watch and mock him, making his father feel totally humiliated. Time Su Yuliu knelt outside the Sue gate again, crying so hard it was heartbreaking. Father, please save my daughter, Chen-san. Hits me and scolds me every day. Chen's mother keeps bullying me too. Really can't live like this anymore. He's divorced me from my daughter. Won't dare anymore. All I want is to go back to the Sue household. Just be a normal maid. Her father stood at the gate, looking at her all disheveled, covered in injuries. His eyes, there was not even a bit of pity, only cold disgust. Back then, I didn't ask you for this, did I? Since you chose this path yourself. Even if it's hard and exhausting now. Gotta keep going. He paused briefly. Remember that day, Yuluan's misstep in front of the emperor and the crown prince? Infuriating to watch. Your own foolish actions brought shame to the Su family. Now you still have the nerve to come back and beg me. Daughter married off, his water spilled away. From this day forward, Sufu don't have you as a daughter. You'd better not appear at Sufu's door again. Avoid staining my eyes. Speak up. Ordered the guest to slam the door shut. Locked Su Yuluan outside. Yuluan knelt at the door, crying for a long time, till her throat went hoarse. She didn't get her father to open the door. Watched the tightly shut Sufu's gate. Felt nothing but despair and resentment. In the end, she could only drag her tired body back to the Jung family step by step. Since then, father hasn't seen Su Yuluan again. Has given him no money either. Her father has become even more solicitous of me. Every time I return to the Su manor, personally comes out to greet me. Is out a lavish feast. And during the feast, constantly mentions my younger brother Su Wengshuan. Words and deeds, hoping Xiao Jinan will help Su Wengshuan. Su Wengshuan a decent position. The day I went back to see my father at the manor, held my hand, grinning all over his face. I hear you've married General Xiao now. Become the general's wife, which is a real glory for the Su family. Your younger brother Wengshuan will be of age soon. Wants to enter public service. Has no connections. General Xiao holds military power. Is respected at court. Could you speak well of him in front of General Xiao? Help Wengshuan land a post? And if it's a small county, that'd do. He looked at me with clouded eyes. Brocade and silk on me. A calculating gleam flashed in his eyes. You're the one who has a future marrying General Xiao. Just because you've gained face in front of the emperor, Maybe you'll become a wealthy widow later. Must definitely help your brother. Su family's counting on you and Wang Xuan from now on. I forced a smile, quietly pulled my hand back, heart turning ice cold. That's still that same hurtful guy, eyes only on money and perks. Him, kids are just tools to kiss up to the powerful and grab benefits. Never cared if I was doing okay in the Xiao mansion, just wanted me to use Xiao Jinan to prop up his precious son. Last life, Zixuan framed me. I died on the street. He stayed just as cold, wouldn't even guard my body. Dad like that leaves zero family love in my heart. Hubby's a general, handles military stuff only. But appointments are all up to the Ministry of Rights. He can't stick his nose in. Plus, Wang Xuan's still a kid with shallow learning. Even if he snagged an official post, no one would buy it. Better for him to study hard first, pass the exams, get in on his own merit. That's way more solid. Dad's face dropped fast, flash of annoyance in his eyes. But with Xiao Jinan there, he didn't dare push back. Said gratefully, "You got a point, I'll make him study hard." Seeing that, I smirked inside, said no more. After a bit, I got up to leave, left the Su mansion feeling worn out lately, told the driver to take a detour. Famous Huchun Hall in Jinju, got the doc to check my pulse, finished the consult. Doc prescribed some fetal stabilizing herbs, sent my maid to fill 'em, sat on the lounge chair in the hall waiting. Filling time, lifted the curtain, eyed the street scene outside. Spotted my half-sister Su Yuliu and Xishuan in the corner downstairs by accident. Yuliu looked haggard, face sallow yellow, hair messy, clothes washed white with patches, no trace of old second Miss Su vibes. Clutched Xishuan's hand, face full of begging, tears streaming non-stop. "See, brother, please take me away, okay? Chen-san beats me every day, Chen mom bullies me non-stop, I just can't take it anymore. Can't live like this anymore. You okay watching that butcher torture me?" Xuan sat across from him, still sharp in his tight robe, but no pity on his face. It's icy indifference. Smirked and just sat down. Told my maid Xiaoxi to fetch young Master Chen-san, say his wife's here cheating. He'd love this drama. Xiaoxi took off running. Xuan shoved Su Yuliu's hand away, eyes full of disgust and ice. "Su Yuliu, how dare you show your face?" Handsome face twisted up, voice dripping hate. The draw lot day, I ignored the crowd and rushed the stage. Asked if you'd come with me. "You?" Swallowed the weight. Dead set on that butcher. Humiliated me in front of everyone. Stomped my pride in the dirt. He spat through gritted teeth. "Know what my brothers call me now? Blind idiot. Chasing a merchant's girl like a dog, rejected publicly. Trash Duke's mansion rep. And you're married to Chen-san now. A virgin anymore, why would I want you?" Yuliu went white as a ghost, staring at Zixuan. "Brother Zixu, how could you say that? Didn't you say you loved me? Would do anything for me?" "Was then, this is now." Zixuan snorted coldly, eyes full of scorn. "Liked you cause you were kinda hot. Kissed up to me big time. But damn, you're just a shallow gold digger craving the top branch. Just me to marry that butcher. Even... Don't embarrass me. A woman like you isn't even worth my affection." Yuliu trembled, her tears streaming down even harder. Through a long pause, she made up her mind and revealed a shocking secret to Zixuan. "Brother Z, you can't do this to me. I'm carrying your child. How could you just abandon your own flesh and blood?" Touched her belly, begging, but Zixuan just gave her a cold, empty stare, scoffed with pure sarcasm. "Who knows if that kid belongs to the butcher or me? You've been married to Chen-san for a month. Maybe you're just looking for an out."
Su Yuliu, what kind of guy do you take me for?
Shook her head, desperate. "It's yours. I'm 2 months pregnant. Remember the peach forest 2 months ago?"
你还记得2个月前在城郊的桃花林，我们
原来他们早在抽签选夫之前就已经私相授受，暗生情愫，还在城郊的桃花林相会，有了肌肤之亲。可谢淑安却更是退后了2步，一脸不耐烦，眼中满是嫌恶。
够了！
Turns out they'd been sneaking around and got intimate long before the marriage. Zixuan just backed away, completely disgusted. "Enough! Cut the nonsense. My family would never accept a woman who's been married and has a kid of unknown origins. Forget it. I'm never taking you with me, and I'm not claiming that kid." Tears, she slumped into her chair. "How can you be so cruel? I gave up everything for you." Before she could finish, heavy footsteps thundered in. Chen-san stormed through the door, eyes blazing. Seeing Su Yuliu holding Xishuan's hand, Chen-san exploded in rage, swung his hand hard and slapped Su Yuliu right across the face. Head snapped sideways and blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. Cheek instantly puffed up in a red, swollen mess. "Shameless woman. Dare you meet another man in secret right here. Till I get you home. I'll show you what I think of that." Chen-san roared, his eyes blazing with fury. Glared at Zixuan, grinding his teeth in anger. Fists clenched so tight they cracked. Desperately wanted to rush over and beat Zixuan senseless. But he also knew Zixuan was the young master of the Duke's mansion, high-born and untouchable. He was just a lowly butcher. He couldn't afford to mess with someone like that, so he forced down his anger. He sneered coldly. "If you really like this woman, Master Zai, why don't you pay me a little, and I'll hand her over to you for one night. You can have your fun and see what she's really like." Xuan just shot him a cold, dismissive look. Shot back, "Thanks, but no thanks. I think she's beneath me." That, he brushed off his sleeve and turned to leave. Chen-san was completely pushed over the edge by those words. Rage was too much to hold back anymore. Stopped caring about the gap in status and swung a heavy fist straight at Zixuan's face. "How dare you call my wife dirty? Teach you a lesson, you pretty boy." Zixuan was a frail scholar with no strength in his body. There was no way he could stand up to a big, rough guy like Chen-san. Chen San's punch landed right on his face, and blood gushed from his nose. Staggered backward, tripping over his own feet. Seeing Zishuan falling back, Chen San got even more aggressive. Charged forward, shoving and beating on Zishuan. All the while he was yelling, "Two disgusting freaks daring to put a green hat on me. Make sure you both pay for this." Yuliu curled up on the ground, stared at the two men wrestling on the ground, shaking all over with fear, but she didn't dare step in. Sat in the private booth watching through the window. Coldly watched this whole mess unfold downstairs, feeling absolutely no pity. They brought this on themselves. Past life karma, present life payback. Sooner or later they'd get what they deserved. Townspeople heard the commotion and quickly gathered around, crowded in front of the medicine shop, pointing and gossiping. And that's Suyulyu, the second Miss Su? Yuan really didn't back out on his word. He was actually meeting young Master Sai here in secret, and her butcher husband caught her red-handed. No shame at all. He's already married to Chen San, and she's still fooling around with another man. No wonder Chen San wanted to hit her. Heard this second Miss Su is even pregnant. Looking at this, that baby is probably young Master Sai's. Chen San totally got cheated on. Serves him right. Then she was dead set on marrying up. She looked down on young Master Z and married a butcher instead. Now look how she ended up. She brought this on herself. Listening to the gossip around her and watching the two men fighting in front of her, Suyulyu was filled with despair. Eyes darted around, then stopped at the private room upstairs. She saw me by the window, and a fierce hatred flared up in her eyes. She'd grabbed her last lifeline. She shouted without caring about anything else. "Suyuji, you really think marrying Xiao Jinan means you'll get to live the good life?"
喊起来。
苏雨之，你以为嫁给萧晋南就能享福了吗？你把我害成这样。
"You ruined me. Don't think you'll get off easy." Her voice was sharp enough to cut through the crowd, drawing everyone's eyes to my private room. Saw it with my own eyes. You were sneaking around with another man. You're straight up cuckolding General Xiao, you shameless woman. Yuliu screamed hysterically, like she wanted to dump all her hatred on me. The moment those words came out, the whole place upstairs and downstairs was stunned. Everyone started looking over with gossip-hungry, curious eyes. The way they looked at me changed too, but I still sat there calmly, completely unbothered. Picked up the teacup on the table, took a small sip, and stayed perfectly composed. Set the cup down, looked at Suyulyu downstairs, and spoke in a clear voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "Suyulyu, do you even realize that making false accusations and slandering the family of a court official can get you thrown in prison, flogged 50 times, and exiled 3,000 Lai?" Yuliu's eyes flickered and she looked a little intimidated. But she looked. He looks at the medicine pack in my hand. Mug smile spreads across his face again. He's finally got something on me. Shouts, "I've got proof. I didn't falsely accuse you." He scrambles forward and drops to the ground, throwing himself in front of Xiao Jinan. Crying, "General Xiao, you have to stand up for me. Miss Dai betrayed you. She's already carrying someone else's child. If you don't believe me, just look at her prescription. One look and you'll know. It's all meds to protect a pregnancy. Miss Dai got pregnant out of nowhere. She must have been fooling around with another man. She's been unfaithful." So Jingnan shows up at Huichin Hall. The moment he hears I'm in trouble here, rushes right over. He's dressed in a black fitted robe, tall and straight-backed. Pressure around him is so heavy it's hard to breathe. Dark eyes are full of cold fury. When he hears Suyulyu, his brows knit. A flash of irritation crosses his eyes. He kicks Suyulyu away. Snaps. "Where did this crazy woman come from? How dare you run your mouth here and slander my wife?" Suyulyu is kicked to the floor, grimacing in pain. But it's like she's found a lifeline. She still yells, "General Xiao! Everything I'm saying is true. Look at the medicine pack in Miss Dai's hand. It's full of herbs for protecting a pregnancy. Everybody knows you have a hidden condition. You can't have children. So how could Miss Dai be pregnant? That child has to be someone else's." Crowd's whispers start getting louder. Looks they give Xiao Jingnan and me. Complicated. Yeah, isn't General Xiao unable to have kids? Then how could Lady Xiao be pregnant? Could what second Miss Su said be true? Did Lady Xiao really meet another man in secret and get pregnant with his child? But Lady Xiao doesn't seem like that kind of person. Could second Miss Su be framing her on purpose? Shh, don't talk nonsense. General Xiao hears. Xiao Jinan frowned and looked up at me upstairs. Coldness in his eyes faded into concern. Asked softly, "Yuji, why are you at the clinic? We have a doctor at home. Why didn't you tell me?" Yuliu lit up and couldn't wait to shout. She's carrying another man's child. She was scared her husband would find out. She came here in secret for pregnancy medicine. General Xiao, don't let her fool you. Seeing Suyulyu act so smug, I couldn't help but laugh. Walked downstairs to Xiao Jin inside. Then I took his arm. Looked at Suyulyu, my eyes full of mockery. "Yuliu, how do you know my prescription is for pregnancy? You know medicine too?" Paused, my eyes falling to her belly. A half smile, I said, "I don't know medicine." "Or did you recognize it because you used the same pregnancy herbs?" Yuliu's breath caught and her face went pale. Eyes panicked and she could barely speak. I didn't, I just guessed." "Guessed?" I raised a brow and gave a soft laugh. "There are over 100 herbs in Qinzhou. Pregnancy herbs are even more complicated. You spotted mine as pregnancy medicine at a glance. It's one impressive guess." Xiao Jinan held my waist and looked down at me. His eyes were gentle yet confused. He asked softly, "Yuji, what are these herbs really for? Didn't you tell me?" I lowered my gaze and smiled. Shy blush rose on my face, gently touched my belly. Then I said softly, "I wanted to keep it secret. Once the baby was stable, I'd surprise you. Now, I guess I can't hide it anymore." I looked up at Xiao Jinan. Eyes were soft and full of warmth. "My husband, 1 month pregnant. Really? Xiao Jingnan heard that. Shock flashed in his eyes, then turned into pure joy and excitement. Held my hand tight, his voice trembling. Susie, is that true? Having a baby? Nodded and smiled softly. Yeah, doctor said everything looked stable. While Su Yuliu, who had been listening in, looked like she'd been struck by lightning. She froze on the spot, looked at me in disbelief, then at Xiao Jingnan. Shouted, "No way, that's impossible!" Knew it. You're carrying another man's child. Everyone knows General Xiao can't have children. Could that baby possibly be General Xiao's? Has to be someone else's. Everyone there turned to look, their eyes on Xiao Jingnan filled with doubt. After all, in Qingzhou, almost everyone knew Xiao Jingnan supposedly couldn't have children. Hearing that, Xiao Jingnan's face darkened, and the air around him turned ice cold. He stared coldly at Su Yuliu, his voice sharp. He was filled with anger. Said I, Xiao Jingnan, can't have children. His voice wasn't loud, but it carried an intimidating force. The whole room went silent. You could barely hear anyone breathe. When I fought the enemy tribes, I was badly wounded. The army doctors healed my old injury long ago. Just didn't want to make it public, or drag my family into danger. I kept it hidden, letting everyone think I couldn't have children. Jingnan locked his eyes on Su Yuliu, burning with rage. You, second Miss Su, ignored every bit of sisterly bond and kept slandering her. Framed my wife and the child in her belly. What exactly are you trying to do? Is it because your own life is miserable so you can't stand seeing anyone else happy? You're trying to smear my wife and disgrace the Xiao family? Yuliu froze, her face pale as paper, nearly collapsing to the floor. She never expected Xiao Jingnan. Thought she finally had something on me, enough to ruin me, but instead she shot herself in the foot. So impossible about that. Stepped forward, looking down at Su Yuliu with mockery in my eyes. You, Su Yuliu, how did you recognize pregnancy-preserving herbs at a glance and insist I was carrying another man's child? Could it be because you have a guilty conscience carrying a child of unclear origin, so you think everyone is just like you? Smirked and glanced at Chen San, who was fuming beside us. You really are pregnant? Young Master Chen must be thrilled. Chen family finally has an heir. Doctor, please come take a look at my sister too. Pay the fee. Yuliu's breathing instantly faltered. She shot to her feet and tried to run, shouting, I don't need a doctor. Misunderstood you, sister. I was wrong.
姐姐，我知道错了，你放我。
I was ready. I immediately had the servants hold her down so she couldn't run. Yuliu trembled all over and started screaming as she struggled. Go of me! Let me go! I don't want to see a doctor. Yuji, I know I was wrong. Please spare me this once. Curled my lips in a mocking smile and said coldly, being a doctor is a good thing. Everyone can finally see who the baby in your belly belongs to. Fighting it so hard. Could it be just like you said that you're carrying some man's child? You're scared to let the doctor check your pulse because everyone will find out? Seeing there was no way to break free, Su Yuliu finally shut her eyes in despair as tears slid down her face. She kept muttering to herself, Done, I'm completely done. A moment later, the doctor stepped up to Su Yuliu and checked her pulse. After a moment, the doctor pulled his hand back. He turned toward Chen. Congratulations, young Master Chen. Your wife is 2 months pregnant and the baby seems stable. But there wasn't a trace of joy on Chen-san's face. Stared at Su Yuliu, his eyes filled with cold fury. Step by step, he walked up and grabbed Su Yuliu by the throat, tightening his grip. Then he said through gritted teeth, You shameless woman? We've only been married for just over a month. How are you 2 months pregnant? Tell me, who's the father? If you don't talk, I swear I won't spare you. Yuliu couldn't breathe. Her face turned bright red, clawed desperately at Chen-san's hands, struggling but unable to speak. Crowd, Zixuan realized the truth had come out. His eyes flickered full of panic. Quietly backed away, trying to slip out in the chaos. I was already prepared. I signaled the servants beside me and had them stop him. Young Master Chen, do we really need to guess who the father is? I slowly walked up to Zixuan and looked at him coldly.
方才苏玉柳亲口说，他腹中的孩子是谢公子的。
2 months ago, they even met in secret at the peach grove outside the city. Young Master Chen, she cheated on you. Looks like this score needs to be settled. San followed my gaze and saw Zixuan being held back by the servants. He instantly understood, let go of Su Yuliu's neck. His rage so fierce it looked like it could swallow Zixuan whole. He stared at Zixuan, no longer caring about their difference in status. His face turned red with anger and he rushed over, throwing a punch. He roared, Knew it was you, you pretty boy. You dared mess with my woman? I'll teach you a lesson. Zixuan had already been beaten by Chen-san, his face bruised and swollen. He couldn't fight back now. Chen-san punched him in the chest and he doubled over in pain, stumbling back again and again. Seeing that, Chen-san grew even more furious, shoving and beating Zixuan while cursing him out. Yuliu was also kicked away by Chen-san and fell to the ground, crying out in pain. Chen-san kept hitting them while cursing non-stop. 2 shameless fools. Dared to cheat on me? Hey, I'm gonna teach you both a lesson. Show you what I'm capable of. Zixuan was just a frail scholar, no match for Chen-san. He was beaten black and blue, covered in wounds, and left unable to move. All he could do was beg for mercy. Yuliu was on the ground too, crying her heart out, but no one pitied her. Everyone around them looked over and started pointing fingers. Their eyes were filled with disgust and contempt. Who would have thought Miss Su and Mr. Z were so shameless? How could they do something so filthy? The whole farce finally ended when the officials arrived. Qingzhou magistrate heard there was a public fight at Huichun Hall. It even involved a secret affair, so he rushed over with his officers. After learning what had happened, magistrate was furious, ordered all 3 of them taken back for questioning. Chen-san, the butcher, had beaten people in public. She curled up in fear. Chen-san beat them while yelling insults. 2 shameless people! How dare you cheat on me? Teach you both a harsh lesson today. You'll regret crossing me. Xu was just a weak scholar. stood no chance against Chen San. Face was bruised and swollen, covered in fresh wounds, lay on the ground, unable to move. Could only beg for mercy. Yu Yu also laid on the ground, crying her heart out. Yet no one felt sorry for her. The crowd all stared in judgment, pointing fingers and gossiping, their eyes filled with scorn and disgust. No one expected them to be so immoral and reckless. They committed such disgraceful acts. Chaos ended once local officers arrived. Magistrate heard about a street brawl nearby, also involved an illicit affair. He rushed over with his guards at once. After learning the whole story, the magistrate flew into a rage. Ordered all three to be taken for questioning. Butcher Chen San would be punished for assault. 3 cane lashes. Yu and Zishuan had an illicit affair. They were sentenced to severe punishment. Zishuan's mother sold all her assets overnight. Sentence was reduced to 3,000-mile exile. Before the execution, Yu begged her father through tears. Her father only looked at her with disgust. How dare you call me father? Disown this shameless daughter. My past life, Zishuan framed me. Father treated me the very same way. Jingsu Yu break down in tears. Simply saw the law of karma at work. Every wrong gets punished. With no way out, desperately begged Zishuan for help. Let me face this harsh punishment. Go into exile right beside you, and take good care of you. In this life, Zishuan hated her deeply. He spat right at her in contempt, said with great rage, "You weren't so eager to climb the social ladder, you would never be in this mess. Liu, you've ruined my entire life. Expect me to save you." Later on, during his exile journey, Xuan suffered from poor health, contracted malaria and passed away. For me, Xiao Jingnan and I raised 2 kids. We loved each other dearly, grew old side by side. Looking into his loving eyes, I smiled softly and sweetly. Harmony and peace fill our days. Quiet and gentle years is true happiness.